Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we're back baby with another banging video. In this video guys, we're gonna talk about Judge Arun Subramanian doesn't know how to go about with Diddy's sentencing in terms of how much time behind bars he's gonna give Sean Diddy Combs, and as such he wants the attorneys to find cases like Diddy where offense levels were calculated based on transportation to engage in prostitution and the lowest criminal history. Now, as you guys know, Sean Diddy Combs' sentencing date, yes, we know there were several reports about it, and there was a live stream in which the date was made final. So, Sean Diddy Combs' date of sentencing, as you guys know, providing that you have been keep up, it has been finally been scheduled for October 3rd. However, in the meantime, what Judge Arun Subramanian is asking the attorneys to do is to find cases like Diddy where offense levels were calculated based on transportation to engage in prostitution and the lowest criminal history. Now, as per his request from Miss Megan Cuniff, Arun Subramanian, United States District Judge, in connection with the sentencing proceeding in this case, the court would find it helpful to have available data on sentences imposed where 1. The primary or sole conviction was for a violation of, and it has the case number, the clause, and all of that. Or 2. The base offense level under the sentencing guidelines was calculated, and a criminal history category of 1. The parties should locate cases that they believe match these criteria and file a letter, hopefully a joint letter identifying those cases by docket number and jurisdiction on or before September 1st, 2025. No argument should be included in this letter. The goal is for the parties' subsequent sentencing submissions to address the cases identified in the September 1st filing, focusing on those that each side believes reflect sentences imposed for similarly situated defendants, if any. The court appreciates the parties' assistance in identifying these cases, as this information is not presently available from Sentencing Commission. So ordered. So, what does this sound like? Well, it's like, a shootout. Each side get to kick the ball 6 times. That's basically what is going on here. It's a shootout. Both the prosecutors and defense, they have been given the opportunity. You're going to find case logs with similar cases, and we want to see what was the sentencing on those cases. But he had given specific guidelines for the case. So the specific guideline for the case is that the offense levels, they have to be calculated based on transportation to engage in prostitution and the lowest criminal history. Because even though, the court of public opinion, we have a lot of opinions about Sean Diddy Combs, criminal history. Legally, he hasn't been held for any sort of crime before this, even though there's so many stories. So he has a low criminal history. There are a few hiccups here and there, but in terms of a record, what has been recorded, there's a low criminal history on his end, and as such, the judge is saying to both prosecutors and the defense, listen, here's what I want you guys to do. And I don't want any arguments attached to these cases. You should include the docket number, the case file, and that's it. So I can review it, and based on those sentencing, that is how we're going to move forward with the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs. Now, I believe that Diddy's legal team had long suspected that this was going to be Judge Arun Subramanian's move, and so why they have been saying, somewhere between 15 to 21 months. And I do believe that they're not going to quite get their way. I think they're going to kind of get it, but not quite there. As I've been saying to you guys, when I look at the reports consistently, I've been following TMZ, and honestly, Diddy's team, I've been following a lot of the podcasts that TMZ has been having. They have this podcast. I think they call it like Four Angry Men or Two Angry Men. And what Diddy's legal team has been saying to TMZ, it has proven even to the end of the trial, even the results of the trial. They predicted it. Diddy's legal team predicted the end results of the trial before the trial ended. Remember, he has been only found guilty on 2 of 5 counts, and this is a major win. And they basically said before the win, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team was saying it is disgusting that the prosecutors are pointing out racketeering and cannot even provide a shred of connection. And that was before the trial, So, if you go back and you look at even maybe 1 or 2 of those podcasts, you would get a sense that I think TMZ is right about the sentencing. Sean Diddy Combs is not going to do more than 3 years behind bars. I think he will be sentenced to a maximum of 4 years, and he's going on to 11 months at this time. So I think he may do 2 years, no more than 3 behind bars. That's what I believe is really, really going to happen. And I'm not saying this to defend Sean Diddy Combs. I'm saying it out of being realistic and factual, looking at all the details. I can have my strongest heart's desire to say, I hope this man do 15 to 21 years behind bars. I could feed that delusion to you guys as well. But as you guys know, I keep it real. Oftentimes I offend people by keeping it real, but I have to remain authentic to myself. And if you guys have been keeping up, you guys know that even with the results of the case, I've been saying it from the get-go, there's no racketeering. No one else has been mentioned. They could have established racketeering, however. They could have on so many grounds. They had so many opportunities to do so, but I believe the prosecutors were given specific instructions on how to handle the case. The 1999 nightclub shooting, that lady was telling the feds that, come, I have the bullet fragments in my face. I'm willing to undergo surgical procedure for you to see that it matches with Sean Diddy Combs' gun. That was completely ignored. Yes, that 1999 nightclub shooting where it was alleged that J-Lo was his gun mule, and that's how J-Lo got his contract. His pal, Shine Barrows, went to jail, did time for something that he didn't do. That was one example right there. Another prime example was the fact that Christina Karam was untouched. She was untouched in all of this. So, there are some other major factors as well, like other names that were mentioned. And if they wanted to establish racketeering, they could have checked because these assistants would often say, we had to ensure that money was always available with this bag. We had to have money in this bag, and we will be told to contact Christina Karam. Christina would give the money. If they wanted to establish racketeering, they could have, but because they know the racketeering involved other powerful people, they didn't want to do that. They could have gotten more. Remember, Candace Owens told us that when they raided Diddy's LA and Miami mansion, they did not raid it to get evidence against Diddy. They raided his LA and Miami mansion to secure evidence, to protect powerful people, okay? And I believe that we can see that playing out to the end. So again, I believe that this trial was meant as a disciplinary action towards Sean Diddy Combs. Look at what he was found guilty on. The Mann Act. The Mann Act. Women will always be liars, even though there was so many evidence, because as a woman, you cannot say yes, then say no. It's illegal for us as women to say yes and then say no. But because men were transported across border for prostitution and they were paid, that's the only reason why Diddy is going to court. The video surveillance tape showing Cassie running from a freak off, like literally running from a freak off, and getting beating for running from a freak off was not enough evidence to convict him on sex trafficking, even though that was sex trafficking, and even though she was running from it, and even though there was evidence of people saying they went into hotel rooms and she was out of it, completely out of it, and the guy jumped off her, and she would oftentimes ensure that she's so drugged up because she didn't want to do it. And even though there were messages saying, I don't want to do this, he was not held guilty on sex trafficking. Look at Jeffrey Epstein case. They got away with what they did to women. Men do not like women, but Sean Diddy Combs can be held guilty for trafficking men for the purpose of prostitution. And this is why, as women, I think that we need to be grateful because we have come a long way with fighting for ourselves and demanding justice for ourselves, because at one point in time, there used to be a thing wherein husband could actually abuse their wives in any shape, form, or manner, and they could not even file a police report because it's your husband disciplining you. So we're coming from that, and we've reached this far. We have a lot more work to do, but it is possible, and change, it's going to have to come, because it cannot be like this cannot continue. It really, really cannot continue. But for us to get more justice, we have to pull our intelligence, we have to pull together as women, and we have to demand that men be held accountable, because yes, it is possible for you to say yes at first and then no after, because at the end of the day, no has one meaning. It means no. And that's all I have to share in this video with you guys. Let me know what's your 2 cents on the matter. While you're at it, you guys know what to do. You ain't new to this. You all are true to this. Peace.